Hey guys, welcome to a brand new rebuild on the channel in which we're going to be starting a much harder challenge than we've ever done before. We're taking on Goteborg here, a team in Sweden, obviously. And last season they finished 8th in the Swedish league, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. I'm going to probably mispronounce the team Goteborg anyway. But as you can see, they've been crowned champions 18 times and won domestic on 8 occasions, so they've got some good history. But the teams like Malmo, IFK are underperforming nowadays. They're not the biggest team in Sweden anymore. They're not the team winning the title every season. Häcken won the title last season, but Goteborg as a team are going to rebuild a team that finished 8th. And let's get straight into this one. We're going to try use a bunch of Scandinavian talent. There's some Swedish youngsters I want to try, some Norwegian youngsters and stuff like that. And some players that we're going to discover along the way. Let's get into this one. Before we do, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications, don't miss any more videos. And let's get straight into this Goteborg rebuild. Okay, so as you can see, this is a team we start off with at the start of the season. You will recognise a couple of players here, the likes of Berg here. You recognise Marcus Berg, obviously the quite well-known Swedish striker. We also have Dahlberg, I believe, played for Watford, if I'm not mistaken, 20-year-old Swedish goalkeeper. We have a couple of young players here, like Harrison here, who could be a very good centre-back for us in the long run, 21 years old. We also have, I'm not even going to pronounce that, because I don't want to offend anyone Swedish that might be watching this video. 18 years old, 6'4", could be a very good player. We've got Carlin here, in a centre mid, 21 years old. Got Fern here, or Turn, 29 as a cam. I'm going to convert into a cam. I might sell him for some money to bring in a younger player. We have Hagen here, who's a CDM, who's going to become a centre mid. And you've got some older players like Salomonson here, and Torrenson here. Is it Tonson, only 26? I'm going to keep him for the first season. Left mid, we've got Norden here. I might swap him for a young talent. We also need to sign a young talent for the right one position. We've got Markovic here, who's 22, 5'11". Isn't too bad, probably could do the job. We also have Carnell here, who's 18 years old, 5'9", 62 rated. Ain't really going to do well for us. Olsen here is going to be our striker. Is actually high rated at centre back. Interesting. Do I convert into a centre back or a striker? That's the question. It's 6'4". I think I'm going to keep him as a striker for now. I don't even know actually. I don't know. I might loan him out for the first season and then make my decision next season. But yeah, we're going to make some signings. We're going to sign some younger players. And yeah, I'm going to show you what the team looks like in a second. As you can see, our team's gone through quite a bit of changes. I brought in a new right back in Gillette, the Finnish right back, if I remember correctly. No, it's Danish actually, sorry. I was going to buy a Finnish right back, but we went with the Danish man instead. We brought in Tagstef here at left back, left wing back, the Norwegian fullback. Also put in the young Swedish talent Nansai here to play left wing here. I think a pretty good talent. We brought in from Malmo. It's not the only player we brought from Malmo, but also brought in a young talent in Larson here, the 17-year-old centre midfielder. We also brought in Svetberg here. He's going to become a cam. He's actually high rated at Camden left mid. He's from Celta Vigo, I believe, if I remember correctly. Young Swedish talent. Moved over to Celta Vigo quite recently. We also brought in a high potential Copenhagen talent, a Swedish guy called Rune Bargi here, young right wing. Should be quite a good player for us. We have actually our bench isn't the greatest. We've done a lot of these deals by swapping players, which is as the reason I've been able to make quite a lot of transfers. We also had a player from the youth academy who was worth about 8 million, 8 to 10 million, something like that. So I sold him, which allowed us to make a lot of deals as well. And these are all the transfers we're going to make. Obviously, the season's different here in Sweden. It begins in January, and can't remember what month it ends, but it ends obviously in different to the rest of the European leagues. So let's find out how we did at the end of the season. Okay, because Marcus Berg picked up an injury, it's going to take him out for a while, so we have decided to add him to the transfer list. I'm going to try and sell him. We're going to get Sekumara, the French striker from Southampton. I did just do a Southampton rebuild. Unfortunately, I didn't get to use him in that route, because he never grew to a position where I could use him on the bench or as a starting striker. But I thought, you know, we're going to bring him in. I'm going to bring in one player outside of, the Scandinavian regions, and we're going to bring in the Frenchman Sekumara. And the only issue is it's on a lot more money than everyone else at the club. Is the next highest is Berg on 4K. He's on 12K a week here. So hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. It shouldn't really do. I hope it doesn't anyway. But he should be a great striker for us. Obviously only 20 years old, 71 rated. And there's a great boost on this team. As you can see, it's been some great growth so far. But assuming the rest of the season. We made it to the quarterfinals of the cup. I can tell you that because we got knocked out in that early, at the start of the season. Let's see how we do in the league. We're currently 11th, I believe. And let's hope with Sekumara coming in, he can go the league even more. Okay, so as you can see, the end of the season, we actually have managed to get into the European positions in the Swedish League here, finished in the 3rd place. I'm not sure what competition that puts us into, whether it's Conference League or Europa League. But in the Cup, as I mentioned earlier, we made it to the quarterfinals, got knocked out by eventual winners Malmo. And then to just show you the squad hub and the stats to players of how they performed in the season. Rooney Bargy here, I'm sorry for mispronouncing his name, got up +6 to get 12 and 10. Incredible growth from him, incredible performances. Nansa hit 11 and 3. And Sikamada in half a season, obviously we brought him in January, no, not half a season, quite a lot of the season actually. Because it goes from December to, no, we brought him in April, sorry. It goes from January to December. So he did play half a season for us, got 10 goals in 17 games. Hagen here with 3 and 7, Sandberg 3 and 2. Berger is actually going to leave us next season. And in terms of the actual growth of the team, let's have a quick look here. Also, we've got Nansai 73 rated, that's absolutely incredible so far. Sikamada up to 73 as well. Bargy 72. Gillette up to 71, or is it Gillette? I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Hausner here up to 70. He's 22 years of age now. Bangsport up to 69. Sorry if I mispronounced his name as well. Texef up to 72. Dahlberg, our goalkeeper, here up to 69. Decent growth from him. Larson 67, Hagen 72, and Svedberg 70. Was it Svedberg? As in it's kind of like a V, I believe, if I'm not correct. Or was it a W? Again, so if I'm mispronouncing any players or the names in this video, I am English, so I'm not obviously Swedish. I should do my best to pronounce these players' names properly. But yeah, a decent first season. Obviously got European football this season, which will allow us to spend a bit more money. And I'm not sure about the position I want to upgrade. Because Hagen obviously is decent, it's a 72 rating. Larson's a good talent, Svedberg's a good talent. I think the Hausen could get improved. We actually could sign a defensive talent there. Now this guy actually does have a decent amount of potential, got 75 potential I believe it is, or is it 77, one out of two. And depending on Dahlberg's development plan, might replace him with a high-rated goalkeeper. Because in the European positions, we are going to be a lot lower rated than most of the other teams in the competition. So it's going to take us a while to actually compete for those. But the title here in Sweden, we should be able to win quite easily next season, I believe. We should be able to try and fill out with the growth we're going to have in the team. But let's get into season 2 and make a signing for the centre back position. I think that's what I want to improve. Sign a young talent for the centre back position who's high rated in 70. Okay, for this season, we're going to make 2 changes to this team. We're putting Zeno de Baste, the Belgian talent, to replace Hausner as the centre back. We're going to learn out Hausner because I want to keep him here at the team. He's a pretty decent backup centre back for the future of this team. Obviously, when we get into the Champions League and stuff like that, if we've learned out and he becomes like a 74, 75 rated player, he's a decent backup. You will notice we brought in Jørgensen, a Danish goalkeeper from Villarreal. To be our goalkeeper, we are going to learn out Dahlberg as well for the similar reason to Hausner, is he can become a very decent centre back, but Jørgensen plus rating, +1 overall boost over on him, and also has 79 potential compared to Dahlberg's 72 potential. So should be a very good goalkeeper for us. Only 20 years old. He's got a lot of room to grow. The Danish talent here. Let's get into the season. Obviously, it's on January to December, and we are in European football this season. So let's hope we can do at least decent in that as well. Okay, so as you can see in season 2, we've actually won the Swedish League here in first place, 2 points over AIK in second place in the Cup. How did we do in this? Got knocked out the group stage. Didn't expect that. I thought we'd make it through the group stage at least. And in the Conference League, did we make it through the group stage of that? We did actually in first place. So that's going to be good for us. Hopefully in February we will have the knockout stages. And we'll take on a team that finished second in their groups. And yeah, hopefully we'll do well in that. In terms of performances, now one thing I have to talk about real quickly is Jørgensen got injured 7 games into the season, so we had to call back Dahlberg from his loan. As you can see, his loan listed again, so hopefully next season can load him out, and Jørgensen can play the full season and hopefully grow. He got a +2, obviously would have probably got a +3, +4 maybe if he could play all the games. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. In terms of top goal scorers, Bargy with 26 and 6, Nansai 20 and 7. Sikamada and definitely Svedberg there with 6 and 2. Let's have a look at the team fully here. Nantai was 79, Sikamada 79 as well, Bargy up to a 79, Svedberg 75, Larson 72, Hagen here with a 75. He got 11 assists, I just saw. Hopefully he can continue to grow next season because he wasn't going to grow any more this season. But hopefully that is changed next season with his dynamic potential. Tax FA up to 75. At one of our centre backs up to 73. I'm never going to pronounce his name correctly, so I'm not even going to try. Up to 73. Hopefully he can grow more next season. He is 20 now. Debasta up to 75, a +5 in his first season. Obviously incredible from him. Ancelotti 77, and Jurgensen obviously 73 rated. Markovic is going to leave us next season. He wanted to leave, but fortunately, one thing I've been doing throughout this whole thing is youth academy stuff, because we do need players for the bench. I think that's one easy way to do it. And we've got Gunnarsson here, a young talent who's going to be our future, well, not a future left wing, but our backup left wing for hopefully the rest of the rebuild. Let's get into season 3. Hopefully we do well in the Conference League and at least make it to the semi-finals, quarter-finals. I think we'd get, hopefully get some good growth. Depending on the growth of the team, we're going to have to maybe replace Hagen next season. Hopefully not, and hopefully Jurgensen can be our first in goalkeeper. Okay, so in the transfer window here, we made a huge signing in Florian Muller, joining us the 78 rated 26-year-old goalkeeper, obviously from Stuttgart, because Jurgensen isn't going to grow anymore past 74 rating for a long while. So I thought, you know what, let's bring in a goalkeeper who's higher rated, +4 on him, obviously. Now, unfortunately, we are knocked out of the Conference League, got draw against Man United in the next round after the group stage, and they beat us quite convincingly. I should say they beat us like 8-4 on aggregate or 8-3 on aggregate, something like that in the end. But yeah, we need to fight for the league title. We should win the league title this season, considering the team that I have. Going to check Hagen's development plan, because I might sell him and bring in a replacement either this season or next season, as the rest of the team is looking pretty good. Hopefully Larson continues to grow as well to 74 now, 20 years of age. And yeah, let's just simulate the rest of the season, and hopefully we end up winning the league title yet again. Okay, so the end of season 3, as you can see, we've won the Swedish League again. And I think the way it works is season 1 we got Conference League football by finishing first, so that took place. I'm not sure how it works, because we have had Champions League football this season. We just had the Champions League group stage, which we I'll show you real quickly after we checked out the Swedish Cup, which we actually won. Nice to see that. In the Champions League, as you can see, we finished third in our group stage, which means we are going to be going down to the Europa League, I believe. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, because last time we also had the Conference League group stage. We did well in that, and all of a sudden we're in the Champions League a month later. So I'm not sure what happened there. It's a bit weird the way it's done over here. I'm not too sure how it's done, but 1 minute we finished top of our Conference League group stage, and next minute we were in the Champions League qualifying rounds. So I'm not sure what happened with that. Let's have a look at the team, how they performed. We've had some incredible growth in the team. And top scorer again is Bargy here. He's up to an 86 rating. That's his potential in the game, 28 and 10. Second Mara was an 84 with 26 and 5. And Nansai 12 and 9. Larson with 8 and 7, up to a 76 of that from him. Hagen here up to a 77. And Sudberg here up to a 78. Let's check out the team in the full team sheet here. We've got some incredible growth in some players there. Sudberg up to a 78. Hagen 77. Depending on his development plan next season, we might have to buy someone else and maybe sell him. But he's 24. I would like to keep him in the team if possible. Tarksteff here, depending on his development as well, I might replace him. But if he does have room to grow, I might keep him. Bangensball here, and again, I just probably mispronounced that name. But yeah, 21 now, 76 rated. Looks really decent. Hopefully he continues to grow as well. The bass up to a 79 +4 from last season. And Schuller here continuing this incredible growth at 22 now. And Muller staying at the 78. And our backup goalkeeper Jurgensen now is 74 rated. And yeah, just get into the next season, see what's going to happen with the European competitions. I'm not too sure. We will have Europa League football anyway, but we'll also have Champions League football perhaps, because we won the league. But we'll just see what happens when we get to it, and if I need to make any changes to the team, I will do, depending on how much money we get given. Okay, for season 4, as you can see, this is the team we're going to go into the season with. We brought Malik Dial here, the AC Milan youngster, the German centre-back, who's, I believe, got 82 potential or 83 potential, one of the two. He's 27 rated right now. We've also loaned out the other centre-back we did have. Also swapped Florian Muller for Bazunu. He's a goalkeeper I did want to buy last season, because we didn't get to also use him in the Southampton rebuild. So the reason why to use second Mardos in the team, to see what they're like in FIFA and give them an opportunity to prove themselves here. And yeah, we swapped him for Florian Muller to Southampton and brought Bazunu. I wanted to make this last season, but we didn't, or make this transfer last season, but we didn't have any money to afford Bazunu, so I decided to do it this season. And let's just get into this season here. And depending on what European competition is going to have, I believe we finish in Champions League football positions in the league, but obviously we're in the Europa League due to our position in the group stage of the Champions League. So we'll see what competition we're in this season and see how far we can go in either of those. And yeah, hopefully quite a lot of those players continue to go, especially our midfield here. They need to continue to go. Obviously Larsen's still quite young along with Swedberg here. But we need Hagen to continue to go if he wants to remain in the team. 25 now. I might have to replace him next season, have him as a backup player on the bench, or sell him for a bit of money to then replace him with a better player. Yeah, let's get into the season and see how this team performs. Okay, so in the season, as you can see, we've won the Swedish League again. At this point, we're just going to be dominating the Swedish League over and over again because our team is too high rated for the rest of the teams in the division. And in the Swedish Cup, how did we do in that? We didn't make it to the final. We got knocked out by Hammarby in the semi-finals on penalties. We were in the Europa League, so we'll check that out first. How did we do in that? I think we made it to the semi-finals. Yeah, we made it to the semi-finals. We got knocked out by Roma, I remember now. We got knocked out by Roma because obviously this is a new Champions League European season. So I need to actually show you that before, when it, like, you know, I mean, in June, July, I need to show you the Europa League and whatever. But in the Champions League, how we are currently, we finished second in the group stage. So we are through to the round of 16. That is good to see. And let's have a look at the team's performances in terms of stats and growth and everything. I always keep doing that by accident. At the squad hub, in terms of most goals, it's Sekumara this time, 24 and 7. Nansai 22 and 11 as well. Nanasai, sorry. Nanasi. And then Barju with 19 and 15. And Svedberg 18 and 10. Hagen here is 7 and 6. We might have to replace him next season, only 78 rated. He's 25 years old now. How much is he worth? Because that could be... He's worth 13.5 million, but depending on how much we get next season, I'm going to have to bring in a centre back, a centre mid. So look at the rest of the team. In terms of, and also Texef as well, I think we're going to have to replace him. He could become a backup option. He's still only 24. Depending on his development plans next season, I might just keep him for one more season. But Malik Tiaw to an 81 of that. He went up +4, I believe. Devasta +2 to an 82. Shiloh's gone up +1 to 83. Bazunu 84 rated now. Larsen 80 rated, so he's continuing to grow. Sekberg 79, Sekamada 88, Marji here 91, and Nanasi 86. Got some decent growth on the bench. I'm going to bring in a couple of free agents next season just to boost the bench's rating, because we're looking a bit short in terms of options on the bench. Let's get into the next season, see how far we can go in the Champions League. We will have Champions League football again, so obviously if we don't make it to the final this season, we will have it guaranteed next season. And I don't think we'll make it to the final this season. I want to at least go to the quarterfinals or semi-finals. I want to see how far this team can get. Let's get into the next season, bring in a new centre mid and maybe a new left back to improve this team. Okay, so this season I've only made one signing to the team, which is Mads Kierkegaard here, the young centre midfielder from, where's he from again? Denmark. We swapped him for Hagen. Hagen, obviously 78 rated, wasn't going to grow more this season. So we have brought in Kierkegaard, obviously 3 years younger than him, and has got a lot of upside to him. And yeah, most of my midfield are pretty good. Obviously, Larsen and Svedberg are also going to go up and overall quite soon. Tagstaff is actually going to grow this season, so we're going to keep him for this one. And maybe next season, going to bring in maybe Rasmus Christensen from Leicester, depending on his overall. Or maybe buy a centre back from a different country, because obviously we have a couple of players that aren't from Scandinavia or the surrounding areas in the team currently, like Malik Tiao, Devast, Bazunu, and Sekumada. But yeah, let's get into the season and see how the team. I'm going to buy some. Well, not going to buy. I'm going to bring in some free agents to improve our bench here, because it's looking a bit ropes down here. We have a decent right wing here who can be a backup to Barji here, but I'm going to have a look for the free agents and see what players we can bring in. Okay, so here in Season 5, as you can see, we've actually made it to the Champions League final, which I didn't expect to happen. I was just skimming through the calendar, and we're actually beating some fairly big teams. We beat Leipzig in the quarterfinals 3-1 aggregate. We actually lost the first leg and won the second leg 2-0. In the semi-finals, we took on Valencia and defeated them. Actually, Ajax also had an incredible run, getting knocked out by Man United, though. We're going to be taking on United in the Champions League final this season, which is, I feel like it's a little bit early. You know, I mean, I feel like this team still has a lot of growth, but there are some high-rate players like obviously Nanasi, Sekomara, Vaji here, but our midfield isn't the highest rated. You know, we've got 82, 80, and another 81 rate player in Larsen. As you can see, these are the stats at the halfway point of this season, pretty much. Obviously, the Champions League final takes place quite early in the Swedish season. But yeah, let's have let's just play this final, because up against Man United in the Parc des Princes. We've got a very good team. Obviously, you've got Anthony. Oh, sort of got in the interchange the kits there, so it works. You've got Rashford, Adeyemi, Anthony, Kochu, Bissouma, Fabinho, Fela Mendy, Araujo, Bremer, Hakimi, and David De Gea. That's an incredible team. But our team isn't bad. Obviously, we've got a couple of low-rated players. It's going to be probably the most challenging Champions League final I've ever played. I just want to make sure our bench is looking good. As you can see, I brought in Mikkelsen here as a player that I actually wanted to bring in earlier on in the rebuild. Can play striker. It takes him a while to get converted there, so we have him as a backup striker on the bench. The rest of the players down here, are they anyone down here who should be going with us? And we've got a centre back, a left back, a centre mid, a cam. Our bench isn't the greatest, but our first team is all right. Honestly, there's some players in here like absolutely incredible. Can't wait to use them in this final. I feel like we can actually win the final here, so let's get into the final. Let's not waste any more time and see if we can win it in season 5 here, which was a lot earlier than I expected. But if it happens, it happens. Sedberg back into Rooney Baji. There's a pen, surely. Marsh has been taken out. Good work from Larson there to win that back. And Adeyemi has won it back for them. I'll just take that back to Bazunu. I'll look for the pass that's open. Fantastic fail. It's a great ball by Bazunu. Oh, a great bit of skill there from Nasi. Sekumara now. Sekumara from range. De Gea. Baji. There we go. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this last name right, but Rooney Baji here makes it 1-0 to Goteborg in the Champions League final up against Man United in the Parc des Princes. A great bit of skill from Nasi at one end. Then a shot from Sekumara, parried by De Gea. Baji's in a perfect area and manages to find it. It's a great shot that because the angle was against him. And we're 1-0 up here in the Champions League final. Kochu now. Yeah, has the Bass got an injury? Oh, okay, has Rashford got in there? Oh no, Adeyemi, Bazunu. Oh, it's chipped me. It's chipped me. Adeyemi, that is just rude. Why has he put a chip there? I don't feel like an opportunity to chip it. You know what I mean? But Adeyemi clearly knows his stuff. He's done it and scored. Ah, I tried to let that run through to Jaleur. Rashford. I need to stop pressing. I need to stop pressing Rashford because he can get in behind us. Adeyemi. Okay. Karim Adeyemi is just incredible, apparently. That's an incredible strike from Adeyemi. You know, had a 2-1 up here in the final. Kochu. Anthony. And it's in. Bazunu denies Rashford. And we need to get this out. Really now. Make the run. Really utilising his pace. It's in behind. Fela Mendy chasing him down. Ronald Araujo also chasing him down. But neither of them can get there. Rooney Baji to make it 2-2. And he does. Grabs his second goal in the final. Our number 7 scores his second in the game. It's a great counter from the corner. And we have been all over United in this game. We have had the most shots. But obviously Adeyemi's magic. Put him ahead. Okay, God. Svedberg now. Araujo, surely it's a free kick, ref. Not only was he all over me beforehand, like pulling the shirt, but just wiped me out. Oh no, Bissouma. Surely of all players, not Bissouma. Anthony now. Bazunu. And Bissouma has put him back in the lead here. Adeyemi now. Oh, the Bash, you need to be blocking that. Bazunu, what are you doing, lad? They both just watched it go past him. The Bass watched the ball go past him. He could have easily stopped that ball. And Bazunu just watched the ball go past him into the back of the net. Okay, God. That's it now.
Plenty of support here.
Okay, God.
Able to skip past his man.
Kamara now. Okay, to Kiergaard to make it 4-3. There we go. Get the ball, Kiergaard. Some good play there. But we're going to go again. Kamara now. Oh, play that ahead of him. Don't play it into his feet. Play it inside ahead. Don't play it on the outside. The pass. Oh. Sancho now. That might have been our last chance. Rashford here. Okay, Bazunu, lad. What are you doing? Why is Bazunu just watching the ball go past him? He should have saved that. Bazunu's staying your net, lad. What are you doing? It's out of play and it's going to be the end of the final. United win this one. We dominated the game. But this isn't the end. This ain't the end. This ain't the end. We haven't one more chance. And we're just going to cut straight to it. I'm going to sim through. I'm going to make the signs I need to make. Going to buy a left back and a right back probably. We need more pace. Might improve the defence more, depending on the growth. We need to spend big. It's clear this team is not ready. But yeah, let's just get ready for the next Champions League final we're going to reach. And hopefully that time we'll win the final. Now, as you can see, we finished first in the Swedish League again. Did we win the cup though? We didn't. We got knocked out by Sirius in the quarterfinals. Obviously, in the Champions League, we lost the finals to Man United. But in the current group stage, we finished top of our group. Juventus and Bayern Munich also in there. That's a big statement going into the next season. I'm hoping we do get a lot of money to replace. As you can see, I brought Victor Christensen from Leicester. Also the same rating as the fullback we did have, but hopefully has a bit more upside. We're going to check the stats out real quickly of players. Sakamara 30 and 2, Nanasai 28 and 11, up to a 90 rating now. Bargi 16 and 11, love that. Kidegaard 9 and 6. And Svedberg up to 82 as well, 5 and 11 from him. Jadot to an 85. I feel like the tactics going to let us down in the last final. I didn't edit them, but I've edited the tactics a little bit here. You can see the growth of the team. We might have to replace Tiao. 2582 rate isn't good enough, and the best is 2383. So Tiao we could probably sell and use that money to buy a centre back, a high rated centre back, depending on how much money we get next season. We might have to do that to afford a great player. Let's get into the next season and see Bazunu up to an 89 now. So hopefully we'll perform better in the next final. Yeah, let's just get into the next season and hopefully reach the Champions League final yet again. Okay, so this is a bit the massive sign of Ibrahim Kanate at the centre back position. We brought him in for 60 million plus Malik Tiao from Leverkusen. Also put in 2 players that I was going to sign earlier on in the rebuild as starting players in Kastrup and Arnstedt there on the bench, just to improve our bench a bit more. We have a decent looking bench over this season. We can have some growth in likes of Larson, Svedberg, Kierkegaard, and hopefully Christensen actually grows. Because if he doesn't, we might have to replace him with an actual higher rated left back. We don't want to have as many Scandinavian players in the team as possible. Let's get into the season and hopefully make it to the Champions League final. As you can see, we've made it to another Champions League final this season, later up against AC Milan here. I can see we'll beat Real Madrid 6-2. Okay, that's quite a convincing victory. We'll face Dortmund as well. And around the 16, we took down, we take Man City on penalties. So in the final, obviously Ibrahim Konate has been a huge boost to our defence this season. And AC Milan's team is incredible. They've got Rafael Leao, Charles de Ketelaere, Ousmane Dembele, Kochu. Was that level Man United last season? He won that last season, so looking to go 2 for 2. Tonali, Mikel Merino, Morgella, who I don't know who that is, Cristiano Romero, Fikea Tomori, Lucas Hernandez, not Lucas Hernandez, Hernandez, sorry, and Matt Magnon. And see our team has grown a little bit. Also, some players have grown massively, but the boost to our defence should help us. And Christensen's pace on the left hand side should be a huge boost as well, up against the likes of Ousmane Dembele. Let's get into this game and hopefully win the Champions League final this time, because it's our last chance of doing it. So hopefully complete the task this time.
Makings of an absolute classic. These are 2 brilliant teams, and at the moment I can't.
Ketelaere, Konate's challenge there wasn't enough, but Kocher goes through and Bazunu denies him. Everyone here can put in a better performance than last time. I see that's Paulo there. Mikel Merino, good save by Bazunu. Really now. Great play there. Sakamara, really now running through. Rooney's still going. Rooney needs to get the shot away. And Magnon denies him a little bit. It's lacking there, kind of put him in. Didn't really have anything to do with that one. Leao shoots. Bazunu denies him. To Svedberg, forward to Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard shouldn't have dinked it up to him. He isn't the tallest. Just kept it on the ground. We would have scored there probably. It would have been a chance anyway. Kierkegaard. And that's it. Back to Kierkegaard. 95 long shots. Over the crossbar. AC Milan are worried right now.
They're getting so close now. They just need to
Good
take
work there
one
from
of these
Goteborg.
chances.
Yes, in possession again.
There we go.
And maybe another
Sit back now.
opportunity developing here.
Through to the Nasi. Right foot, finesse finish into the bottom corner. There we go. Inasi opens the score in the final. 90 rated Swedish winger, I believe he's Swedish anyway. If I remember correctly, he's Swedish. He's a very good player. Obviously, a lot more potential. He's reached a higher potential than he has in the game in this rebuild. That just goes to show how good it's been in this rebuild. And it's a great finisher to open the scoring. And we're 1-0 up here at Wembley in the Champions League final. Rooney to Sekamara. There's one fullback we're going to try and beat for pace with. Theo Hernandez, it's Rooney has done well there. Not Rooney. To shoot and save by Mandano. What I meant to say there's one player that we can beat Theo Hernandez with pace with. It's Rooney there. Okay, good defending there from the Bass. It almost went through still though. That should be half time. There we go. 1-0 up. Get to that. Bass pressure there though. Aliao and Theo Hernandez. Hard task to deal with, but does better. He's got better than the last final. He's proven that here. Sekamara. Into Rooney here. Rooney now. He's into the box. Sekamara. I don't know why I shot at that angle. He tries to get to that. Get to that. Right there, finish alert. And get that out. Rafael Leao, good pressure. Shot taken. Bazunu saves. Keep it in. Christensen as well though. Mikel Marino. That's what team about Konate. Good work there. That's how it's great. Free to Sekamara. Sekamara takes it across goal. Into the back of the net. There we go. 91 rated, I think he is now a 92 rated, I'm not too sure. With Sekamara gets himself a goal in the Champions League final, something he couldn't do last time against Man United. It's a great bit of movement by Nanasi there, that skill move, opening up the space to play the pass. And it's an incredibly powerful finish into the top right hand corner. And we're 2-0 up in the final. Just for that now. Over the top here looking for Sekamara. Sekamara. Into the Nasi to make it through. Stepping up with Konate might have been the wrong idea because AC Milan are about to get back into it. Yes, they are. Half what a shot is that the one that's beating Bazunu. Of all the shots he's faced in this game, Kurtu puts him back in this one.
Well, I have to say, that's a good finish. He knew exactly what he wanted to do there.
But how is this the one that goes in? Oh, I should have played it over the top. What am I doing? I'm literally letting him back into this game. Ousmane Dembele, shot saved by Bazunu. Yeah, I mean, that should be a foul against us. Luckily it ain't. Christensen, great challenge there. Ball over the top here looking for Sekamara. It's a great ball. Can he finish it? Unfortunately he couldn't. Great. Good through now. No, you do not. Oh, we can't stop him there. Konate though. Great defending. Sekamara. Made that run. Rooney, can you find him? Yes, you can. Sekamara to hand us the victory in the final, but Mike Magnon. Incredible goalkeeping. What am I doing? What am I doing? I can't give this away. I cannot give this away. Mikel Marino. Trying to just win the ball. Shot is taken. Of course. 90th minute. 10 seconds left. They make it 2-2. Oh, what is going on? Why do he touch us now? How my players now just... Bazunu. Right there, of course. Bazunu. Oh my, as offside. What a save though by Bazunu from that chip shot. I want to see that again because that was incredible. We need to give Bazunu his props for this. Look at that save. Incredible. Look at that now. Run for the centre. Can we find it? Yes, we can. It's Larson making a rare run for the centre. Sekamara. There we go. Good goalkeeping at one end by Bazunu. Game-winning goalkeeping if it ends up staying like this. And at the other end, Sekamara, after the rare run that Larson made, hasn't made too many of those in this game. it's a great cross from Larson, great run. And it's an incredible powerful finish from Sekamada, just blasting it past Magnon. And we're back in the lead. Why am I stepping out? I just did it again. Oh no. Azetic.
Supporters think it's on.
Victor Christensen, sorry, I'm not sure who Rasmus Christensen is. But we've done it. 2027. Goteborg are Champions League winners. This has been such a fun rebuild, man. It's been such a challenging rebuild as well. In terms of like getting into Europe and like winning the trophy. In terms of winning the league, it's quite easy. Obviously, when the players get above the 74, 75 rated, we can just dominate that league over and over again because the players in the Swedish league aren't the highest rated, as we saw at the start of the rebuild with our team at the start. But we've dominated the Swedish league. The Swedish Cup we've actually struggled in quite a lot because somehow we just lose a game every now and again in that. But here we are, Champions League finalists, second time in a row, and the second time round we win it. And then Nassi obviously scored, picked up an injury. Ever since that injury kind of faded out the game. No, it's Rooney who's going to lift the trophy, sorry, not Nassi. I forgot I gave Rooney Bargi a title. The 16-year-old wonder kid in real life playing for Copenhagen. This is the Champions League title all these years later in 2027. And this is what you'd like to see. Here in Wembley, Goteborg have made history, winning the Champions League. I want to do more rebuilds like this with like teams that aren't, you know, like teams that aren't in the first division in like Europe. You know what I mean? Not Europe, but you know what I mean, like the big leagues, like Premier League, Liga and La Liga. Because they're more of a challenge. You get to use different players as well, because you can't sign lower rated players than usual. And like Bazunu, as you saw, got to play in this one. And Sekamada got to get played in this one. In the Southampton rebuild, I couldn't use them. They were too low rated. And what a team we made here. Ibrahim Konate coming in, helped us massively in the defence. The Bass played pretty well. Michelet played well. Christensen played incredible as well at left back, only 81 rated. But he made some big challenges. And the rest of the team, Bazunu, great goalkeeping in the final. And we're Champions League winners here in 2027. And what a way to end the rebuild. Okay, so I just summed to the end of the season to get the final stats for the season. As you can see, Bargi, 47 goal involvements in 43 games. Incredible from Nanasi as well. Sekamada, Kierkegaard done quite well. Just incredible stats from everyone around. Now I'm just going to go through the team, talk about the players. Bazunu, incredible goalkeeper. In the first final, I was a little bit worried going into the second one, but clearly he learnt from his mistakes in that other final and became an absolutely incredible goalkeeper. Ibrahim Konate, obviously we know about him, he's a great centre-back in FIFA. Gillette, a very good full-back, not the most physical, but he's got a lot of pace and good defensive stats. I'd recommend you try him in a Pro mode. I believe he starts out at with 6 years in the future, so he starts out at 18 maybe, if I'm doing my maths correctly here. De Bast, pretty good defender, I recommend you use him as well. Christensen, obviously it would have been high rated if we had him from the start, but he actually played quite well in that final, good defensive all-round stats. As a left wing back, he suits that role quite well. Kierkegaard, incredible midfielder. I recommend using him. Can also play cam, but he's 6'4", so I'd recommend using him as a box-to-box midfielder. Because his long shots are incredible, his passing's incredible, his dribbling can become quite good as well. Larson, I'd recommend use this guy as well as another box-to-box midfielder. Obviously, he's got 84 strength. He's 6'2", so he's got height about him as well. We've got two fairly tall midfielders here, 6'4" and 6'2". And then Svekberg at the cam, very good place, it's got one as well. We've got a quite tall midfield and a decent, obviously not the most physical player. But he was actually very good in the final, only 83 rated at this point at 23 years of age. But I'd recommend you use him. Obviously he's a winger in the game naturally at Celta Vigo. But I'd recommend you convert into a cam in your Pro mode, or a centre forward maybe, you could play there. I'd recommend cam, that's his best position in my opinion. And then Nassi, incredible winger, I recommend you bring him in your Pro modes as well. If you're doing like a road to glory, or you're doing a rebuild of your own, I recommend you sign this guy at left wing. Sekamada, great striker, obviously at Southampton alongside Bazunu, is a great striker. Bargi here, I recommend, this is another guy you need to use in this FIFA. Bargi here, 16 years old at the start of the game, and he's 97 rated now, only 22 years of age. He can reach 99 rated if I kept going. He would reach 99 rated, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, don't forget to drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on the most of the video. Let me know who I should rebuild next. And let me know in the comments below if you use any of these players yourself, or you are going to use any players yourself. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.